Hi, I'm John Walmart. You might remember me from the last time that you asked to speak to the manager and I started crying because I don't know where they put the staplers either. I think it's fair to say that there's a lot going on in the world right now, and that's why I'm here to talk about an extremely important issue: how hard it is to buy trading cards meant for children.
I'm at GameStop, 47 of them. It's 11:30, and all these unemployed people outside right now.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm at a point in my life where most of my day is spent asking the question, oh my god, why is everything so expensive? And in a world where every tax bill I get drastically increases my chances of making the local news, the only thing keeping me going right now is knowing that I still have all of my stupid, dumb baby hobbies that let me de-stress and relax and tap into the good old days of being a 10-year-old, except for the part where I have to involuntarily enter the Hunger Games every time I go to Costco to buy Pokémon cards. I don't know whether I'm just self-reporting how much time I waste on Reddit, but it kind of feels like every big fad now randomly spawns in like a horde of hustlers emerging from their parents' basement to turn every shopping experience into a combat sport. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's sneakers or Labubus or cards for actual 6-year-old children. If people are buying something, there's always going to be a dude standing outside Popeyes trying to resell you a $3 chicken sandwich for like 12 times the price.
I'm selling it for 15 bucks, just one. Or offer me 10 bucks.
And in their quest to take home that $25 in profit, these guys have ruined every single possible way that people engage with their hobbies. Like, it's either you go to stores in person and you have to enter like Ground Zero of Vietnam, or you go online and you have to fight against more bots than Optimus Prime. Scalping, a word describing the act of being a scalper, and also what we should be doing to the people that take part in it, are like the cyclists of hobbies. You know, everyone hates them and we all secretly wish we could run them over with our cars, but there's nothing we can do about it because technically they're not doing anything wrong. Now, I don't want to turn too much of this video into like an economics lesson because I am way too attractive to know anything about the economy. But the idea of making or buying something for super cheap and then selling it back to people at an insane markup is literally the entire basis of the free market. Like, even though I know for a fact it does not cost anywhere near $15 to make popcorn, I'm probably going to buy it anyway, you know? But scalping is not the same thing as reselling. Like, if you go rescue some shit that's been rotting in a second-hand store and then sell it for like 30 bucks on Gumtree, you've already put in more effort than scalpers, where the most intensive part of their day is having to put on pants, and that's not even all of the time. What they do is clear out all of the stock of something so that no one else can have it, and then sell it back to them for like 50 times the price. It's actively removing people's ability to buy something normally so you can charge them whatever the hell you want for it. You know, like a monopoly. That thing that America used to have laws against. Like with concert tickets. And don't even fucking talk to me about Ticketmaster, dude.
Some Ticketmaster employees are in hot water after Live Nation's court documents show that the pair bragged and mocked customers about how the company is, quote, robbing them blind, baby, end quote.
I'm sure any survivors of the Eras tour remember trying to get tickets for that shit was like the opening of Terminator 2. And of course, Ticketmaster, famous for being extremely consumer friendly and caring about their customers, looked at this whole situation and went, wait, why aren't we doing that?
The company allows marked up resales, but also uses so-called dynamic pricing, with some tickets automatically going up when demand is high.
No, because what do you mean $51,000?
One of my friends works for one of these companies, right? And he was telling me a story the other day about how he was putting through like 4 tickets to the cricket at like 72 bucks each or something. But now, because of dynamic pricing, by the time he finished putting the tickets through, they had gone up to $92 each, and there was nothing he could do about it. Like, bro, I would be showing up to that stadium like fucking Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. And look, I get that it's tough out there right now, okay? And I don't blame anyone for wanting to make some extra cash on the side, but like, you can do that without being an asshole, all right? We all have toes.
I hit my local stock checkers. We cleared them out, baby. Fuck them kids.
I'm not sure if you guys remember, it wasn't like a big deal or anything, but you know that pandemic we had a few years ago where we saw people come together to support each other in trying times by hoarding all of the toilet paper and baby formula and then reselling it to struggling families for 6 times the price?
Channel 3's Hunter Hoagland talked to Matt, who bought nearly 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer.
Would you say you're sorry?
Because unlike those people, I'm making a good, honest living, okay? Like by promoting mobile games. This summer, get ready to crank up the AC because you aren't ready for the urban heat. A brand new mobile shooter with over 20 recently divorced playable characters, each with their own voice lines and abilities you can choose from to run, jump, Shoot, slide, and teabag your way to victory. Take part in 5v5 multiplayer FPS action that's unlike any other mobile shooter on the market because I'm actually able to hit people in this one. With category-breaking graphics, strong cinematic setting, and several other talking points I was given, plus extensive weapons customization, all allowing you to accurately capture your average Thursday afternoon in LA. A game that's optimized for all devices, including your geriatric iPhone 11 that's been dropped more times than I was as a baby, and gameplay so addictive that it's taking the world by storm. Yeah, I'm already about 25 hours into the game. 17 of those hours might have been spent inappropriately staring at the character select screen, but I'm pretty sure I might be the greatest Urban Heat player of all time, actually. This is my favorite character right here, this guy. I mean, I think we look the same anyway, right? Like, you see that 4 kills in a row right there? That kind of skill can't be taught, okay? I don't know if they have an esports league yet, but I think I'm ready, all right? Put me in, coach. So enter the link in the description now to unlock exclusive rewards worth over 30 real human dollars in value, like an STA4 blueprint with 5 enhanced modules, plus 3,000 in-game cash. So download Urban Heat today, available now wherever games are sold. So I like to buy a couple Transformers every now and then, right? Some of you guys might not know, I only mentioned it about 17 times a video. And like, I can tell you as someone with like terminal collective brain rot that just like with any hobby where the main activity is just blowing thousands of dollars, that once these things stop being sold at retail, that shit is gone and it is never coming back, okay? It's now banished to the aftermarket that's single-handedly being controlled by a guy called Clive. But, you know, compared to like Nintendo fans that have to deal with a dude scalping every Rosalina amiibo purely because he hates the character, absolutely owning Nintendo by giving them thousands of dollars in revenue, which somehow is still not the worst it can get, because, you know, I could always be a Pokemon collector.
Bro, you're a fucking loser. Well, you work at Target.
I'm a loser, but you buy Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
I gotta be real, I don't know shit about Pokemon cards. I mean, I know enough about the games to know what a Wiglet is, but like the trading card game has always excited me about as much as the actual stock market, in that I understand I'm looking at a lot of money here, I just do not care. I used to be super big into it as a kid, like I had this sick-ass Mewtwo card that was like my pride and joy for a week, until some kid on the playground mogged the shit out of it with his shiny Deoxys card, and I just never really emotionally recovered from that. But you know, in hindsight, that guy might have actually saved my life, because as far as I can tell, getting into this hobby is like being conscripted into the army. That shit is like a war zone out there.
No matter what comes through that gate, you will stand your ground.
We have the limitations. Just kind of respect everybody.
Oh, God, please.
And there's nothing that shows how dumb this shit is than like the managers having to come in and telling them off like they're children.
Hey, everybody, slow down or I'm not let you buy any, okay?
Alright.
That's simple.
Alright guys, can we stop stopping that guy's face in, or I'm gonna have to put you in timeout. I love these guys huddling around the workers, standing in the same pose as a kid that's about to tell their mum they just pissed the bed. Next time you're having a bad shift at work, I hope it at least makes you feel a little bit better, that you don't have to like clock into Walmart and stock the children's card game aisle and risk getting swarmed by a ravenous pack of sweaty 25-year-olds.
People call it selfish, greedy, toxic. It's meant for the kids. If you have a long-term vision, don't let anyone stop you, okay? Because one of my favorite quotes by Rick from Rick and Morty.
And they're showing no signs of stopping. If anything, they're evolving. I mean, some of them have even discovered shopping carts now. It's got to the point where every card restock turns the toy aisle into a free WWE match. You got people spawn camping the toy aisle or hiding the goods around stores like it's the One Piece. But you know, maybe I just don't get it, okay? Clearly there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, like all of the hours they have to put into the gym to be able to assault loving fathers 40 years older than them. And it's insane how deep this goes. Like, sometimes the employees are in on it too and being paid off by the scalpers to, like, wheel out entire racks for them to buy. Like, there's no telling how deep the corruption goes. You got dudes doing, like, Ocean's 11 heists, making out with, like, 100 grand worth of Pokemon cards. Spider-Man? Spider-Man, are you gonna... But, like, man, you just don't get it, okay? It doesn't matter if you get 10 years for assault and battery. You're not thinking about that $200 profit, baby. And, you know, personally, if I was a scalper, my strat would just be to grab some random kid and then use them as, like, a prop. Like, no one's gonna question you if you just... Oh, what's that? There was a guy that actually did that? No, wait, I was kidding. So upon realizing that their shiny PNGs of EV were sending people to the ER, the Pokemon Company's flawless solution to this was to direct all of their stock into vending machines that make it even easier for these assholes to hoard all the cards. We did it, guys.
Get away from me.
And yeah, they did try putting buying limits on them, but then people just started unplugging the machines. So, you know, they did try a little bit.
Feel bad at all? No. You got a whole cart full. You're not saving them for the kids, man. No. Okay.
Okay. Now, I can't say I'm like the biggest fan of children, which I know you might be surprised by given my career path, but I can't help but feel like they're the ones that lose out the most in all of this, given that they're at constant risk of being body slammed by 15 greasy adult men if they ever dare step foot in a toy aisle. Which would be bad enough if any of these people were doing this because they actually wanted the cards. The only gym badge these guys have gotten is like a restraining order from Anytime Fitness. But like I said, I don't know shit about the Pokemon TCG, so I feel like in order to grasp this whole situation properly, I needed to talk to someone who's as chronically into these cards as I am Transformers. So I sat down with someone that wishes to remain anonymous, so he isn't identified by the families of the kids he had to bludgeon to death during the last Costco restock.
It's called the Butthole Pikachu.
Butthole Pikachu, right. Tell me more about that.
I think one of the most sought after sort of Pokemons, especially when they get like a new SIR and stuff like that, so that alone probably bumps it up.
I had no idea what it was this scary man was trying to tell me. But I think my biggest takeaway from sitting down with him is how hard it is to even come into contact with these cards.
So the other annoying thing is with EB Games, to be able to pre-order you need EB World, which is like their subscription model.
You mean the paid service?
Yes.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And not only was he telling me that you needed like a paid membership to be able to have the privilege to even pre-order these cards, but that you also needed to join a Discord server that you also have to pay for.
So I hear about most of my stuff through a Discord that I paid to be in. I paid $10 a month. So like this pings me. So all day at work, I'm getting constant pings. The allocations are so small, and if you're not in one of those paid Discords, you wouldn't even know what's happened. If you're a mum trying to buy her Pokemon loving son for Christmas or something, you have no other option than to buy like from Scalpers.
Once again, I could not believe what I was hearing. So then picture for a second, right? I'm 42-year-old Margaret, recently divorced, but still willing to settle down. And my dumb chud son just asked me for a bunch of Pokemon cards for his stupid birthday party. Am I gonna know that I need an EB Games membership and then have to spend all day waiting to get pinged by a Discord server that I give money to every month? Or am I just gonna look that shit up on Marketplace and hand some guy called Clive like 12 times the retail price? So if I was to go walk into a Kmart right now, I wouldn't find any of these.
Nah. Especially like when someone like Kmart releases it. Kmart's like notorious for being botted, so even if you know the drop, you know the date and the exact time that the stock goes live, and you've got like a Discord like that, like I still missed out on everything from that drop.
I was in disbelief at the information I was receiving. Like, if anything, the market is set up where scalpers are the most easily available option when you have to go on a fucking Lord of the Rings journey to get a hold of official stock.
That set, I think, has just sort of ended its production run, or it's like towards the end of it, but like what it's done to the price, ETB 650 this guy's got.
And how much was it at retail?
$80 retail, and like every time he gets like stock, he'll post it on the back of his Lambo.
Just for the purpose of the investigation, do you know how much people are even making by doing this?
He's got 144 in a box, selling them for $11, and they retail at like $9.95, I think.
Yeah.
So he's making $1 on everything, so it's like, what's the point?
I saw some like viral clips on the interwebs about people like weighing some of the packs. Like, how legitimate is that?
So you can weigh the card pretty like accurately to tell if there's going to be a holo or not in it. There's nothing that's also stopping them from weighing them, finding out it's light, and then just selling it as like an unweighed pack. I think they're even using like CT scanners.
Did you say CT scanners? Who is giving these people access to high-grade medical equipment? He was also telling me that we do have the vending machines here, but they're being run by the scalpers, by like a Pokemon reselling cartel that's preying on kids who don't know any better.
But we do get a lot of like, I guess sort of like scalper ones where people will just buy a whole bunch of stock themselves, buy a vending machine, and then just sell packs. Or like common thing is like mystery graded cards, where it would be like a graded card, but they face the back of the card to you. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what the grade of that card is. So it could just be like an energy card, for example. Yeah, nothing's stopping them from just putting $5 stinkers in there.
Right, I see. So I set out to find one of these machines to try and figure out what it is that's like stopping these guys from just loading them with the most shit-ass cards known to man. And using my expert sample size of the one single $5 note that I was willing to sacrifice for a JPEG of Pikachu, I can tell you, not much. The one I found was selling the mystery graded cards that he was talking about, but like for 80 bucks? Come on, what am I, Mr. Beast? And I was rewarded for my investment with what I think might actually be the worst Pokemon card of all time. I gotta be honest, I don't think I'm getting that $4 back. But like, I guess at least I got to see those products. Like, these kids don't even get a chance before these guys instant transmission that shit onto some guy called Chad's Marketplace account.
Can't miss for at least one thing, man.
Stop being a crybaby about it.
Appreciate it, man.
And it's not like they haven't tried to fix this problem. Some places like Kmart and Costco have limits now on how much shit you can buy, which, as you can imagine, was like Pearl Harbor for these guys. The online Lego store, I know, generously only lets you buy one of the $7,000 Pikachus, just in case you were keen on finding a home for your lottery winnings, I guess. Some stores like Target just straight up don't sell them anymore for the exact reason that they banned these cards at my school a decade ago, except now everyone is 25 years old.
Right, per membership.
I saw there was this store in Japan that was like interviewing people to see if they were actually a fan before they let them buy anything, which I think is like fucking hilarious. Which Pokemon is 257?
I don't know what you're talking
Which
about.
Pokemon is 257? Some places are even putting their stock behind the counter because they know that a scalper's biggest weakness is having to communicate with another human being. And all of this is cute and everything, but at the end of the day, the biggest problem here is that it's not like any of this is against the law or anything, right? So if I'm a store hearing about this, you're telling me that someone's coming in and clearing all of our stock and then also giving us a shit ton of money? Oh no, that sounds awful. I sure hope that doesn't happen to me. The only reason for them to give a shit about the scalping problem is just trying to stop people from like recreating the Namek saga in the toy aisle. So there's only two real solutions, right? One, that these companies just make like way too much product for it to ever sell out. Like we saw Nintendo doing with the Switch 2, that nobody is able to resell because no one can afford to buy it. But with companies like Lego and Pokemon, it's not like they can't make more of the thing that people want. It's just like, why would they give up the FOMO that's doing most of the marketing for them? Like, if anything, Scalpers reenacting the purge at your local Target is helping them sell more products for the same reason that, like, every website assaults you with a sale that's, like, conveniently always ending 24 hours after you look at it. These guys know that if they make you feel like you only have a limited window to buy something, that you're going to be way more likely to be pressured into buying this $150 Lego Winnie the Pooh set that might be the scariest thing I've seen in my entire life. This is called artificial scarcity. We're not done with class yet, get off your phone. When Popmart and sneaker companies I don't care about did start flooding the market to keep up with demand, they basically killed all the hype around their products. Like, no one gives a shit about Labubus anymore now that you can very easily buy them, and now they've all moved on to the next white girl trend.
Now, if you've got no clue about Labubus...
No, it's gotta be some kind of elder abuse, dude. Then there's the other much easier solution. Stop fucking buying from them. But, I mean, it's so easy for me to say that when I'm talking about Pokemon cards. Because, like, I would love to say that I'd rather just never have something than ever give these people money. But, like, then you put, like, a set of these fish transformers that I missed out on in front of me. And then I'm like, well, you know, I actually hate having money, actually. Or there's the secret, much funnier third option. Because you know what else isn't illegal? Putting the chairs left by scalpers to hold their place in line at GameStop on Marketplace so people clear them out overnight.
I hate Pokemon card scalpers. Y'all not camping out here for no Costco rotisserie chicken. I'm putting this stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
And just a little tip for you, they don't own anything until they make it to the checkout. So you can just like steal whatever you want from their cart and it'll completely stunlock them because this is most of their first time going outside anyway.
Hey. Scalper no scalping.
Anyway, basically, moral of the story is that I'm really glad I'm not a Pokemon fan. Can you guys fucking chill?